Hello, art history and art appreciation classes. I hope you're doing fantastically well. Today I wanted to give you an update on how the Blackboard functionality works. And this can be a review that you use periodically if you need it. The way that it works is, as you can see over here in our tab column running all the way down, every week is divided either into week one, where all the information is, or for my Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, Thursday classes in week 1 and week 1B, where week 1 is always, or week 2 in the next case, or week 3. In each case, the first one is always the first time I see you in class, so Monday or Tuesday. And the second day, then, the B part, is always the second day that I see you during the semester, and that would be either the Wednesday or Thursday class. You'll note that the dates of when the work is due is already here. So this will be on Tuesday, September the 1st. This would be then Thursday, September 3rd, that shows up. So you can always scroll down and see where we are. So if you want to see what's due in week 2, we click on here and it pops up. I'm going to stick with 1B on prehistoric art as we show up. The other thing for Blackboard we want to make sure is you know the navigation over here. Here's the syllabus, so at any point they want to look at the syllabus or the course rules and policies. Remember, your first quiz is largely based upon the syllabus and the course rules and policies that are here. You can take all quizzes a second time, and I'll show you where that is in a moment. A little bit about me if you are interested in me, or in office hours that show up. If you ever want to check your grades, or for every other week when you need to post a discussion board posting, you can click right here. It will take you right to those discussion boards that you can click on and fill out, as we'll talk about as we're going through. Now, as the layout of the thing that I want to show you is up here, week 1B prehistoric art. There's always an introduction section that basically says, here's the major topic that we're going to be covering. In this case, it's prehistory, it could be Renaissance, could be non-Western cultures and art. And the thing that begins at the very top are the essential questions. These are large ranging questions which make excellent questions, and many of them will show up on your midterm and your final exams. So when we finish each section, you should be able to answer, or at least start to answer, these questions. So why do we make art? What does it mean to be fully human? What does it mean to be an artist? How do we determine what an artwork means? These are the essential questions we're dealing with. What works nicely about the introduction is that once we look at the essential questions, the artworks that are shown are the artworks that I'm actually going to concentrate on. So those are the ones that we are going to spend the most time in class, and the lectures that you do outside of class in our flipped classroom model, where you watch the lectures before you come to class. These are the artworks that I'm going to be covering the most. So there's always a little written information as well as the image itself. If you ever miss class, then you can always go and say, oh, which are the most important ones Frazier was going to emphasize? And you know from the very beginning that this artwork, these 3 artworks in this particular case, are the ones that we're going to be focusing on. Now, where you're going to be getting the information to focus on those 3 artworks and the essential questions comes from the daily readings, lectures, and video notes. So this is all the work that you are going to do before class. And so in this week 1, if you haven't already ordered a book, of course, the first thing I tell you is order the book. Here is what the book is. And there's going to be 3 questions that you have to answer for each artwork, each and only artworks that show up. And so to take notes in this class, there are basically a couple different strategies that I want to teach you. So there's a separate video here for that, how to take notes in art class with Frazier, which deals with both the notes that you're going to be turning in as 30% of your grade, but also the notes that you need to take to prep yourself for the quizzes and the midterms and the final exam that will help you along the process. So I've actually assigned that for you to read. So anything in the daily readings, lectures, and video notes are things for you to read and take notes on. That's what you're going to be turning into me so I can take a look at those. So here's the daily readings, videos, lecture notes that show up as you scroll down. So you'll notice Frazier's lecture notes, here's one of my lecture notes. So for those of you, and this is specifically set up for an Art History 1 class, but it works just as well with an Art Appreciation class. Whenever you see Frazier's lecture notes, this is the lecture that you actually need to watch. And you'll note most of them are about an hour. So you'll click on that. They're all YouTube video links. And you'll note that when students have given us tips from previous students on what to do, here's what we do. So student tip here is on in focus Venus figurines. Just one of your quiz questions this week will ask you all about the different ways the Venus figurines hairstyle have been interpreted. So that kind of indicates to you that wow, I should probably, when I watch this video, keep that in mind. So these are all student suggestions to help you kind of organize the information, because there's a lot of information coming at you. So this will help you organize that. The student tip for the next one, how to make prehistoric pottery, student tip. One of your quiz questions this week will ask about the simple techniques and technologies prehistoric artists use to make art. Again, so you've got a tip for the video on what to focus on while you're watching. Now, when you are watching these videos and the lecture notes, please focus on the 3 questions up above. They are always the most important ones, and that's for the artworks. So those 3 artworks that we had at the very top, you should be answering, why did this artist make this artwork? Why did the culture make the artwork? Was it religion? Was it political? What is new and innovative? That's why we look at these. And third, how does this artwork impact the world that we live in today? This is the first time we see female beauty. It's the first time we look at gender roles. It's the first time we create architecture. So those are the notes that are going to be bulleted out. So once you get through the videos, and after watching the videos, and I will point out, there's always at least 1 or 2 videos then each week that will help you become a better student, a better learner, but also a better employee in the future. And so this first one is on college teaching and information, how to think and how to think about thinking. It's going to teach you a process called metacognition, which will actually help you become a better student. Then we're going to teach you how to read a textbook in this short video, and active reading strategies for when you're reading your textbook that will work not just for my class, but it's all based upon how your brain works, so neuroscience pedagogy or teaching pedagogy. There will always be a quiz question based upon at least 1, if not 2 of these, and the quizzes are due once a week. So you know every week you're going to have to watch at least 1 of these videos or 2 of these videos to answer that particular quiz question. Now, after we look at the work, the readings and the videos, you need a place to post those notes. And the place you're going to post your notes is right here, Prehistoric Reading Video Lecture Notes. If you were to click on this link, and you can see it's due by Wednesday or Thursday, depending upon whether your class is Wednesday or Thursday. If you were to click on this link, it will give you a place where you can post those notes. Remember, the only notes that you need to post for me are the answers to these 3 questions bulleted out. And so, why did the culture artist make this artwork? Was it for religion? Was it for politics? Was it for gender? And was it potentially for more than one of those? What is new and innovative? And again, how does the artwork impact future art, culture, and society? So for a quick example, here's one on Star Wars if you need it, as well as a rubric for what I'm looking for. If the video talks about multiple elements of new and innovative features about an artwork, please include all those new and innovative features. I don't need a paragraph. I don't need full sentences. Bullet it out, because basically you're making a cheat sheet then for you to be able to use on both the midterm and the final. So this actually benefits you long term and ultimately ends up being about 30% of your grade for doing your homework. So when you come into class, we can have a conversation about the artwork rather than me just telling you about the artwork, which is not nearly as effective as a way of learning. Underneath that, there will be your discussion board or any other work that you have to do for the week. So your first week here, you can see the discussion board is your life-changing artworks, the 3 to 5 artworks that have most impacted your life, your understanding of the world. And you'll notice, in my case, if you were to click on this one, click on this, it will take us right to that discussion board. You can see some people have already started to post, and that first one is actually mine. So you can always use mine as the model. So, all right, here's about the length of what I need to deal with. Now, in the discussion board post, you're more than welcome to actually post and write it out if you would. So here are my 3, Machu Picchu, Star Wars, and African Masquerades, and why I noticed. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is actually, if I go back here to our 1B again, and then scroll down, you also notice we can do this via a flip grid. So you could actually click on here, flip grid, and that will actually allow you to go back and take a look and create a little 2-minute video on those 3 artworks. So here's my 3-minute video in my case.
Hello, students, and greeting from Wakanda.
So if you would rather not write it out, but actually make the artwork itself, you're more than welcome to do that. Scrolling down to the next section, those are always due on Thursday or Friday. By Sunday night, you'll always have to take the quiz. Every week there will be a quiz. The quizzes are generally very easy, provided that A, you've done the work, and B, that you've not just done the work, but come to class and actually have participated in our prep work. And so for this particular quiz this week, it's going to be on what is art, and over the syllabus. Those rules that I said are over in the syllabus section at the very top of Blackboard. So make sure you read those before you ever get to this section. And then finally, your class lecture notes. So if you ever miss class or can't find the PowerPoint lecture is also here in an MP4 format. It's also up on YouTube. That's the link I emailed to you, and that's up higher within our video lectures. So that's closed caption in case anyone needs it. If you just want the introduction PowerPoint that I generally show with music and to get an overview of class, if you want the actual PowerPoint that we're using in class, it's generally right here. And if you want something with a lot of written notes out, basically my 20 years of experience writing out notes and putting everything together, so you have a huge amass, more than we ever can come in class, you're more than welcome to look at the doc. So again, this is how every week works, except for the midterm and the final, but for every week, which is the vast majority. First part is the introduction, introducing you to the most important artworks and those essential questions you need to know for midterm, final exam questions, sometimes a quiz question. Second part are the readings, the lectures, and the video notes that you'll have to do, specifically on the most important artworks. And then you'll be turning in those notes in the next section, which is this actually lovely section right here. You click on here, it'll allow you to take the notes. So if we click, ooh, we've lost our cursor. There we go. So then we can actually take the notes. There we go. You'll note at the bottom of this, it will always tell you right here. So for prehistoric art, it will tell you the artworks you actually need to take notes on. So you always have a clue, right? Here's 3 artworks. Generally, between 3 and 9 artworks you have to take. So here's the things of Willendorf, Lascaux Caves, and Stonehenge. So you know when you're watching your videos, those are the ones you're going to focus on. They're always the ones I'm already focusing on in the video lectures as well. Any discussion boards or Flipgrid or other activities that we have to do are always next. Followed up by the quiz, which you have to be due Sunday night by midnight. Remember, you can take every quiz a second time. So if you screw up the first time, you can always go back, relearn what you missed. And finally, your class lecture notes. And that's how Blackboard is set up for you. So every week, whether it's 1B, if we go to 2, it's the same format, 2. So we look at the introduction, then we go to any daily readings and the videos. There's not going to be extra credit because we can't cook because we're not going to see one another. Lecture notes. So it's always set up, laid out the same way, the same organization. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night. I hope this helps you out. And we'll talk about this more in class when I see you guys next. Bye.